We believe in the marketing squad that your website is the hub of all your marketing. So today we're going to chat about our approach to web design and what it looks like to build a website.
So the 4 questions that your site should answer for your web visitors is: what problem do you solve? How do you solve it? What makes your company special and unique? And the visitor wants to know, where do I start?
Welcome to SquadTalks. My name is Kevin Peterson. I'm the Vice President of Client Experience at the Marketing Squad, and I get to be your host, co-host.
You can be the host. I'll be the co-host. I'm Emily. I'm the graphic designer here at the Marketing Squad, so yeah.
She's good at what she does. It speaks for herself. So hey, we've talked about a number of topics so far with SquadTalks. We've talked about SEO. We've talked about reaching your audience through blogging. We've talked about fast burn through digital ads. All that stuff's great, but if you're talking digital marketing, you're missing a big piece of it if you aren't talking about your website. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Mm-hmm. We believe in the Marketing Squad that your website is the hub of all your marketing. So you take all these tactics and put them in place, but hopefully you're drawing people to your site and leading them to an action, getting leads generated through your website. So today we're going to chat about our approach to web design and what it looks like to build a website. So
Yep.
I'll toss to you. We're pros at this. So gather yourself, Emily. This is professional stuff. People are watching.
I thought you were going to cue it up a little better.
I can cue it up. I'll cue it up and Taylor can edit it.
Okay,
How's that sound?
perfect.
Yeah. So big thing we do when we sit down with a company to work on the website is we start on the homepage, and we have 4 questions that we ask as we go about designing the homepage.
So the 4 questions that your site should answer for your web visitors is: what problem do you solve? How do you solve it? What makes your company special and unique? And the visitor wants to know, where do I start?
That's right. So yeah, with that first question, what problem do you solve? We know that you have seconds to capture someone's attention and make sure that they are in the right place. So as we sit down with a business owner, business leader, we want to know about their business. What problem do they solve? What services, what products do they offer, and who is it for? So we know who we're talking about and talking to on the website. So it all starts with what problem you solve. When I hit that first frame of the website, I should know immediately that I'm in the right place. If I've got a leaky faucet and I need it fixed, I got to know that I'm on a plumber's website and that they do residential repair. It needs to be apparent right out of the gate. Okay, and the other part of that is it needs to not just say what problem you solve, but it needs to speak to some internal feelings that person has. It's one thing to say we offer this product or service. It's another to tell someone that we're going to put your mind at ease. We're going to make your life easier. We're going to save you money. We're going to help you live a better life. In some way, you want to speak to the internal problem that someone's feeling.
Right, and a lot of mistakes people make is they just make a beautiful website, but when the user gets there, they don't know why they're there. So that's going to make people jump off real quick if they don't know that you're there to solve their problem right away. For example, we do a lot of Medicare websites, and the main problem there is that people over 65 looking for Medicare are often confused, overwhelmed. There's so many options out there. So when we make a Medicare website, we want to imagery, video, everything just needs to right away from the first click show exactly, we're here for you. We're going to solve your problem right away. So
yeah, it's one thing to say you offer Medicare, it's another to say we're going to put your mind at ease. We're going to walk you through this process and help you be confident in this decision you have to make.
Right.
Hey, by the way, what are you drinking?
This is a mocha latte.
Mine's empty. These are a prop. Don't let it fool you. I don't drink coffee. I think this is supposed to be a coffee talk, and I'm an imposter, so I'm not drinking anything. What's the second question, Emily?
The second question is, how are you going to solve my problem?
Right. So at this point, people know, oh, great, you can solve my problem. You are a residential plumber. You can fix my leaky faucet. But now I want to know, how do you do that? What's the plan that you put in place to help me, not just with my external problem, but put my mind at ease and address these internal struggles that I'm having? Okay, so what you want to do there is offer a plan. It's 3 to 4 steps, very logical. I can see from point A to D that if I do this and then I do that, and you as the person I'm paying does this and that, my problem is solved. So if you're able to very easily articulate somewhere as people are scrolling through your site, the plan that they follow, they know that they've come to the right place.
Right, and the key there is to make it easy, simple. So if you want to show people the process, you can literally put 1, 2, 3. This is what you're going to do. So you're showing them exactly what the plan is, very clearly defined, very concise. You don't want to confuse the user. So, for example, in Medicare, we show here's the carriers we offer in 1, 2, 3. This is the steps you take to get your Medicare solved. So, really clearly, simply lining out the process so that they're ready to move on to the next step, which is what makes your company special and unique.
Yeah, so chances are you have competition. You're not the only person in town who's doing the business that you've undertaken. And so at this point, people have to know, okay, you can solve my problem, you have a plan. Are you any good at it? Can I trust that you're going to offer the best product or service? I'm doing some internet research. I've got a little bit of time to make this decision. I want to know that I'm doing business with someone who's going to solve my problem quickly, effectively, without headaches and frustrations. So there, the goal is to establish yourself as a trusted guide. What can you offer to someone to very clearly show them that that you empathize, you understand that visitor's problem that they're facing, but that you have the authority to help them through that problem. Okay, so there's lots of ways you can do that: testimonials, stats. You could share companies you work with.
Yep. So, for example, when you go to Amazon to look for a product, you're going to read the reviews before you buy that product. It's the same for websites. You want to see that other people with faces and names have said this is the best company to go to. You want to see that you're making the best option based on what other people have said. It's one thing for a company to say, yes, I'm amazing, choose me, but you want to see that other people also go there and use them as well. And you can do that through testimonials. You can show stats. A lot of people do case studies to show the whole process and this is why we're the best. You gotta show it. You can't just say it. So,
Yep.
And then the next question that we ask, the final question, is the visitor wants to know, okay, I've got all the information that I need. Now what? Where do I start?
Yeah, so this is where it really all starts to come home. You could have hit points 1 through 3 beautifully, but if you didn't give someone a very clear, direct call to action, it was all for naught. So for us, think about it like running a retail store. You put your cash register up front, nicely lit, signage in place. The path leads people to that point. You didn't put the checkout line back in the dressing room or behind sporting goods or something. You put it right out front where people can see it. So as we think through web design, we're going to offer multiple points of action. It's probably in the first frame, it's probably halfway down the page somewhere, and it's probably again towards the bottom. But we don't want people to leave the site without knowing what that first step is that they can take. But it's more than just that very direct call to action, the buy now. Sometimes you want to offer a transitional step. So people are investigating. They're not always ready to talk to a sales rep or to purchase the product or to have someone come to their home to give them an estimate. They might want to learn a little bit more information. So in that instance, we also want to look for possibilities for a transitional step. That could be a content offer. That could be subscribing to an email newsletter. That could be just simply telling people to like and follow them on social media. But something to where you have captured that visitor on your site and you're able to continue that relationship with them. A good picture for this, and something that we've adopted from Donald Miller, he gives the example of flowers and a ring. So in a dating relationship, you've got you take someone on a date and you say, hey, can I go on a date with you? Yeah, great. And you give them flowers. And then you say, can I marry you? They're like, well, I'm not ready for that yet. Can I go with you on a date again? Sure. And you have the flowers. Are you ready to get married? Not quite yet. But soon enough, you keep asking, and they're going to accept that offer, that proposal. And so that's why you always have the flower and the ring on your website. You need something that's going to give the person who's not quite ready to take that step something they feel comfortable doing, something that adds value to them. But if they're ready, you've got to have the ring ready. You've got to have the direct step.
Yep. And it is important to make your CTAs, call to actions, stand out on your website as well. It's all about not confusing the customer, and they do need to know exactly where they're going. So like Kevin said, sometimes they're not ready to schedule that appointment. They want to, for example, personally, I wouldn't want to just call someone out of the blue without having all the information, because sometimes it can be embarrassing or whatever. So we like to set up, content offers where they can read this case study, go to this page to learn more of your questions before you schedule that appointment. So we like to make those CTAs stand out on the website, usually make them a different color, make it pop with some imagery so that they know exactly what they're doing and it's not confusing with like the other parts of the website. And generally, we like to have call to actions on every single page so that there's always an opportunity for that person to either learn more or just jump right in and call today. So
Emily, you've designed more than one website at the Marketing Squad, give or take.
One or two.
One or two. Emily's done a really great job, and she's been with us about 2 years, over 2 years now, and has designed, I would say, at least 60 websites, maybe more. Mm-hmm. What are some things that you think about when you sit down, obviously in that initial meeting, you're meeting with a client, getting to ask them questions. What are some things that you ask them that help you create a good user experience, and how do you approach web design?
Well, first and foremost, we want to make sure that initial click, they type in the web address, we want to make sure that first thing they see, it's like right when you walk into a store, it's like the first thing you see is that big, we usually do a hero image or a video. We want to make sure that will get people to stay, because generally people will give your website a few seconds before they decide, this isn't for me. So you want to make sure we ask them questions to really focus on that main first image or video or whatever it is. And then obviously we ask about branding. So it is important your website is your hub. You want it to look like everything else. You want it to be you want it to correlate exactly with your brand. So questions that I ask. I can't think of anything right this second.
Fair enough. We ask lots of questions.
So user experience is like the most important thing when it comes to websites. And I have to think about the user experience on every single platform, whether it's desktop, iPad, phone. Some people have weird little Apple Watches, every platform, and it has to work on every platform. So you also have to think about that in terms of big images can get really, really small. So you have to think about that. The CTAs, you might want to say, call us today in like 5 paragraphs, but that's not going to work on mobile, desktop, whatever. So you have to think about that. And then also while I'm designing a website, I use Adobe XD to design my websites. And through that, I have to prototype. So I have to say, if I click here, it's going to take me to this page, and I'm going through the user experience as I'm designing. So that's super helpful for me. And then when we show the client, we can also guide them through the website rather than just like static images and saying,
something to think about too, and we've done this for a number of clients, is maybe you aren't happy with their branding. We've helped startups, so people who have no branding in place, and we'll create their branding and then turn around and do a website design. But some people come to us with an older website and also a logo they aren't terribly proud of. And so we can take that as one project and really think through what is the look and feel for your branding? Does it speak to your current audience? Is it modern? Do we want to kind of harken back to that older branding and show some credibility and stability of your brand, or is it a clean slate, all fresh and new? But we can take that opportunity of a new website to revamp branding, and we've actually designed new websites for people, and they turn around and they want a sales collateral to match it, or they want an email template to match it. So it's definitely a good opportunity to roll up your sleeves from a branding standpoint and think about not only your messaging, but the look and feel of your brand and how you present yourself out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's just like investing in a home. You wouldn't put all your eggs into something that you don't like personally. Like, we do take a lot of older logos and websites, and we just amp them up, and that makes everything else, the marketing, the social media, it makes everything else better too, because your website is your hub.
So that's it today. Big thing to think about when you are starting your website project. We're going to answer 4 questions for your visitors. What problem do you solve? How do you solve it? What makes you special? Why should I choose you? And then where do I start? If you can answer those 4 questions on your homepage, you're off to a great start with a web design that's going to speak to your audience and hopefully convert some leads for you. So hopefully you heard some stuff today that was helpful. You can like, subscribe,
drink your coffee.
Drink your coffee. We're going to do more of these, and you said there's nothing in there. We'll be back. Maybe somebody else will host and do a better job of it than we do, but glad that you were with us. And hey, if you're ready to start a website project, best place to start, obviously for us, come to our website. You'll see right there at in that first frame of our site, a very clear call to action. You'll get to meet with one of our sales reps. We're not going to make any assumptions about the project. We want to hear from you and what your goals are, and learn what you have in place now and where you'd like to go. But we'd love to help you out. If you're in a place where you want a new website, just come to our website and connect with us, and we'll be ready to roll. Thumbs up.